Hey guys, how you going? It's a pre-game show for Monday. There are 11 games on. Obi is here with me. I'd get him to look at the camera, but I don't think he will. How you going, big fella? You look at the camera over there, buddy. No, he won't. But anyway, he's here, and we're here to talk about the games. We've got a preview show coming out. I've already recorded it, but a preview show for Tuesday and streaming options coming out soon. There's an injury update show that's already dropped this morning. And of course, there'll be a big boy 11-game recap after all the games today. Good to have all of you guys in here. Hopefully, we get a few more of you guys in here. I forgot to put the landing page for this one up early, so a little bit of a late start on that. Just had a bunch of stuff to do. And then, here we are. We're here to talk about these 11 games. We should start to go through what we know at the moment. Ooh, Kyrie is out today. There you go. Left foot sprain. That is an owl. And Rui Hachimura's gone from probable to doubtful. Sick. What the fuck is going on with injury reports already? They're already stinking it up. There you go. Jaden McDaniels back as well. Let's bring the screen in. Again, welcome everybody. Good to have you guys here. If you do enjoy this show, hit the thumbs up on the video. Subscribe to the channel as well. It's a great way to push this out to as many people as possible. But Josh, I don't want people in my league to see it. Come on, get it out there. Get it out there. All right, let's have a look at lineups up on the screen. We do have a few that are confirmed. We know that Nick Claxton and Cam Johnson are out for the Nets. So they're going small again. Cam Thomas is starting and Dorian Finney-Smith. So we're not going for Day'Ron Sharpe once more. The Blazers are starting the usual Scoot, Shaden, Matisse, Jeremy Grant, and DeAndre Ayton. Anunoby is playing. Jaden McDaniels is back, so Alexander Walker moves to the bench. Jimmy Butler and Kevin Love return, but Bam Adebayo is still questionable. Giannis looks like he's playing, and Middleton returns. LeBron is listed probable. Klay Thompson's questionable. Steph's not on the injury report. Draymond is probable. What else updates are we getting here? OG Anunoby is playing after he was listed probable. Precious Achiuwa is out. Claxton officially out for Monday and Wednesday, so we've got that. Garland, Jarrett Allen are out tomorrow. I don't believe we've heard on Don Mitchell for tomorrow, but Gafford is out today, so their lineup's going to be really interesting as well. Kuminga's still questionable today, so what status are we waiting on? Draymond is probable, Kuminga questionable, Klay questionable, Josh Richardson questionable, Bam Adebayo questionable, LeBron probable, Cam Reddish probable, Rui Hachimura doubtful. There you go. Without, our Bam is out. There you go. Bam Adebayo is out for tonight. Hornets starters have also been released. So you want to stream in Tom Bryant? You go ahead and do it. But he is out. The Hornets are starting the usuals. Hayward, Washington, Williams, Rozier, and Ball. That has been confirmed. It is an absolute flood of news happening at the moment. The Bulls are starting White, Levine, DeRozan, Williams, and Vooch. The Pacers are starting Halliburton, Mathurin, Brown, Top, and Turner. So same starting lineups there. Whew. Again, welcome to everyone who is here. Good to have you guys here. When will Claxton return? Well, he's out for 2 games, so maybe he's back Friday. Obi is leaving. That's what we know at this point. Josh, are we starting Keontae tonight? I don't think I would. I would have him on my roster, and I want to see how it plays out. But yes, Kyrie is out. You can see this on the screen. There's a big red out next to Kyrie's name. And he will move out of that starting lineup soon once we adjust it. Bam is out. Correct. We've said this. Thanks everyone in the chat, but just thanks. Who replaces Kyrie? I think they'll probably put Tim Hardaway in there, but it could be Curry. I doubt it's... Oh, no, it'll be Josh Green. Josh Green will move in there, and then you got Hardaway, Curry, and Hardy coming off the bench. But Josh Green, I expect, will move into that starting lineup. All right. Wow, that was a bunch of shit going on there. LaMelo Ball allegedly is still on a minutes restriction, even though he played 33 minutes. What's the point of having a restriction of 33 minutes? I've never heard dumbest shit in my life. Well, I have. OG Anunoby missing a game for cramps. Yeah, so we'll figure out that Irving one. I'm not working on basketball monster at the moment. I'll be there soon to adjust things, but Lively starts surely? Yes. Why wouldn't he, Jordan? We've got him listed as a starter. We expect that he starts. I don't know why he wouldn't start. What's my role on Mathurin's minutes and role so far? Do not worry about Ben Mathurin at all. Should I consider picking up Miles Bridges or Simons off waivers? Does he have top 100 up? Honestly, like, I know, Zip, I'm going to sound like a dickhead here. I just 10-team leagues with small rosters are pretty silly because in the end, there's going to be 70 blokes on the waiver wire that are going to be useful enough to use at times during the season. So these sort of questions, like, do I if you're in a 10-team league and you go, oh, do I luxury stash Miles Bridges? Like, no, just get numbers in, because I don't know that Bridges is going to be good or how much he's going to play or if he's even going to play. Or stashing an Anthony Simons for 3 weeks or 5 weeks because he's injured, it's not worth it in a 12-team league. There are so many different guys that you can use. 10 teams is just too shallow. Sorry, apologies. What's up with Hardy being out of the rotation? No idea. It's Jason Kidding. What do I think about trading Gafford for Allen? Yeah, I think I would prefer Allen over Gafford. Do I prefer Sohan or Keontae? I think they're both going to have struggles this season. I probably do prefer Keontae, but I think they're both going to have what's his name? Value. Why do I call BS on OG's cramp? Why lie about it? I don't know why they would lie about it. But I'll tell you why I call it BS. Is because if you have a cramp on Friday, you shouldn't be questionable for a game on Monday. What sort of a cramp lasts 4 days? Or even what sort of a cramp lasts more than 20 minutes that ruled him out the next day? That is why I call BS on it. I have never, ever heard of a cramp putting you in doubt for a game in 4 days' time. That's BS. In fact, that's bullshit. Yes, Joe, I'm a biased Raptors hater. That is why OG Anunoby missed a game for a cramp. A cramp. That's why I hate the Raptors, because they lied about this injury. Clearly. What's going on with Pascal Siakam? He's just struggling. He's going to be better than this, but you know that I was a little bit down on him. People were taking him like early third round, and I was not into it, but he's going to be better than this. I've got no problem. Who's the higher upside this season, Mathurin or Quickly? I'd say it's Mathurin. Like, when a guy can play 10 more minutes per game, which Mathurin can over Quickly, then you have to go that direction. How long do you wait for a man in 16 teams? Well, 16 teams is obviously a deeper format. I would be looking until mid-November at least. Start White or George? I'd very clearly start Kobe White. I don't even know that George is going to start. He may or may not, but I know that Kobe White is. Is it worth playing Terry Rozier or bench him? Well, I don't know why you would bench him. I don't know who you would start over him. I would 100% start him without having any other context. Do I think Bam is tapering off? No, I just think he's injured. What else is... Let's go back and check more information if there's any other news that is dropping. We got the Hornets lineup. We got the Pacers lineup. We should have adjustments to the screen there. So we've got Josh Green projected to start in Dallas. Wizards lineup, we're going with Jones, Poole, Avdia, Kuzma, and Muscala. It could be Gallinari, but I think they'll start Muscala and sort of split those minutes. Celtics lineup, you can see his usual lineup. I think OG moves back into the lineup ahead of Gary Trent for Toronto. Otherwise, they remain unchanged. McDaniels is going to start over Alexander Walker in Minnesota. Hawks, I expect Hunter and Johnson to be the 3 and the 4. Pistons should be unchanged. Thunder should be unchanged. We've got Josh Green over Kyrie, and I think Lively remains the starter. The Grizzlies should be unchanged. The Warriors, if Clay is out, I expect that they start Chris Paul with more minutes for Moses Moody. The Pelicans should be unchanged. The Heat, well, we've got Tom Bryant starting there, Kevin Love back starting. Watch for Orlando Robinson for deeper league streams. The Bucks, Middleton should just replace Jay Crowder. The Jazz, we've got unchanged. I think there's like a 10% chance that George starts. I don't think he will. Nuggets should be unchanged. Magic should be unchanged. And Lakers should be unchanged at this point. I don't really see why it would be anything different. I don't understand why Fox doesn't have an injured tag. They said he misses some time. This is, again, why I 100% always tell you to play with IL Plus instead of IL. Because if you play just with IL, you have to wait for someone to make a call before you can put him in onto Yahoo. And the way that varies player by player is an unfair advantage. Not specifically to one team, but it's something that's not uniform, right? So I would have thought that IL, the rule for IL, the injured tag on Yahoo is that the player has missed or is expected to miss 7 days. That is the rule. It's not 3 games. It is expected to miss 7 days or out 7 days. And at the moment, I guess because they haven't given us an exact timetable on Fox, that's what they're waiting for. But it hamstrings the fantasy managers. You should never, ever use IL, and it pisses me off. Yahoo, if you're watching, why are your default leagues not IL+? Why have this And I know it took them 20 years to even institute an injured reserve at all for Yahoo, and they were that slow behind that. But having this ridiculous rule where someone's got to make this call and it hamstrings certain managers versus others is ridiculous. Is Booker's injury a concern for duration of the season? No, the duration of the season's a long time, mate, so no. NFL players get fluids all the time because of cramps in the back on in 20 minutes. Yeah, you stick an IV in him and they're fine. This is what I'm saying. That's why I'm calling that injury bullshit. Not that he doesn't have an injury. It's more that, I don't think the injury is cramp. Could Keontae George have a similar fantasy season to the Bronco? No, I don't think so. He is going to be a very inefficient guard. I think you grab him because you want to see what happens, but he could have some real struggles efficiency-wise, not like Jalen Williams. It's not the same role as Jalen Williams, no. I don't think anyway. Have I been on Spider-Man 2 video game? No, man. I think I'm too old to play video games. My hand-eye coordination just isn't up to it anymore. Should you be worried about Mikhail? No, not really. But again, what were your expectations? Did you think that he was a first-round player? Did you think he was a second-round player? Because I don't think, and I never did think he was going to hit those numbers. And as long as Cam Thomas keeps starting, then he's going to take shots away from Bridges. What's Zaire's value this season? I think once Morant returns, it is going to drop some of Zaire's value. He's been okay. He's probably a strong 14-team league guy, fringe 12-teamer, but that probably drops off a little bit later on. Yes, Obi, I know. It's really troubling. Muscala or Prince in a points league today? That's a tough one, mate, because Muscala can rack them up. And Prince is very, very unreliable. So I'd probably go with Muscala. We got the Celtics lineup. Hey, Bilal starting. What happened there? What? Kuzma at center and Bilal is starting. Okay. Huh. They are fully committing to small ball, as a number of teams are. But don't worry, Yahoo leagues have default 2 centers. Bilal starting. That is streamable. Now, he's not a must-roster player by any stretch, but that is an interesting development. The Celtics are going with Holiday, White, Brown, Tatum, Porzingis. What an interesting change. Obi, shut up. Jordan Judge, I'm not going to answer your question because you're trying to take piss out of my accent. So, eat one. Is Sohan better than a stream spot? It's a really good question, Tom, because as a general blanket rule, no, he's not. But we are at the start of week 2, and having a stream spot is nowhere near as important here than versus what it is week 5 or week 7 or week 9. So, as a general thing, no, I would rather have a stream spot versus what I've seen from Sohan at the moment. But I'd also, at this point, week 2, beginning today, I would rather hold on to Sohan and see what develops over the next week as the screen just dies. Apologies, I will get that back up for you because this is going to die really soon. So I would rather hold and see what happens because it isn't super, super important to get that stream in right now. I'm still stunned that the Wizards went that way. I did not think that they would go that way, but good for them. I wish they had have started Bilal immediately, but they didn't. So we're just waiting on the early-ish games on the Raptors, on the Wolves, and the Hawks, and I don't expect that there are going to be any surprises there. What is Duran's rest of season value? Probably not quite as high as what it is now, but top 50 is within the ability to grab. Obi, my guy, what is fucking going on? Is Bridges going to play? I wish I knew, Andre. If I knew, I would have told you many, many times. And I will continue to say this, that the longer it goes without the Hornets and their piss weak, no backbone front office saying anything or doing anything, then it is more likely that he plays, yes. So Prince now over Muscala? Yes, probably N23. Bay or Bogey? I actually think I like Bogdanovic more there. Who has a more impactful season, Jalen Johnson or Tillman? It's a good question. I think it's probably... It is tough. It's probably Jalen. It is probably Jalen. Tucker bag. Don't scream. Caps lock off, mate. Avdia or Toppin tonight in the points league? I can't trust Obi Toppin's minutes at all, so I'll go with Avdia. Who should you start between Kispert and THT? I'm not interested in Kispert, really. THT, I think. Gafford is hurt. That's why I know that's why they're going small, but they do have another center in Mike Muscala or the guy that's been playing backup center as well, Danilo Gallinari. They could have started. Whatever the points are on the Wizards, bet the over. Let's have a look. What are the points on the Wizards? Where is the line there? It is 231.5. Yeah, that'll go 250. It's going to go 260, I reckon. Celtics Wizards. It's going to be huge. Happy Halloween. We do not celebrate Halloween here at all, really. That's not true. There's one house down the street that's got a skeleton on their front door and Obi barks at it every time we walk past. But that's about it. Any update on Garland and Claxton return? Nope. Well, actually, that's not true. We know Claxton's out Monday, Wednesday. Garland, no real update. Are we worried about Rob Williams? Why? What would you be worried about? Is Kobe White a drop? No. Oh, okay. Obi's complaining because someone's here. That's why. I'm just going to go shut the door, shut this idiot up. Sorry about the barking, guys. I didn't realize the cleaner would be arriving at this point. Start Kessler today? Yes. Look, again, I'll say this, this is not directed at you. It is, but it's directed at the thousands of people who do the same thing. How can I possibly know, right? I don't know what your league is, how big your league is, what your format is, and who your other options would be. So I'm just going to say yes, but I don't know. So as a general rule, it is very, very hard when you can see hundreds and hundreds of chat messages coming in. And I don't know why I picked this one out, mainly to make a point. Again, sorry to you individually. Got to tell me what the hell's going on, because I can't know that. I'm not that smart. I'm not even smart at all. Can we expect Bruce Brown to improve outside of just points this season? What do you mean improve? Like, I've said this a lot of times as well. I don't think there's any way that Bruce Brown was going to be able to replicate his assist numbers from last season because he wouldn't be getting point guard reps. But he's going to play more minutes than he did last season, and that is going to enable him opportunities to be pretty strong. Do not drop him. Is Neesmith worse? I'm not answering that question. What is the possibility that Kuzma gets in foul trouble, guarding the paint, impacting? I think that you might be just reading a little bit too much into that. That might be going a little bit too granular. Sure, it's possible, but like on Porzingis, like, is that really going to be what the issue is? He's not going up against Jokic or Embiid, which would definitely bother me. So I wouldn't worry about it that much. Obi Toppin or Zaire Williams, who to start? No idea of your format. Zaire is probably going to get more minutes, so let's just go that way. Would you drop the crucifix for George or Bilal? I would drop him for Keontae George without any worry at all. Is Cam Thomas a must-have guy this year? Well, he is at the moment. While players are injured, absolutely he is, yes. Obi definitely does hate Halloween, the person who said that. Is dropping Pirtle in 12-team category league jumping the gun or just absurd? It's both. Like, you just don't drop him. If the worst player on your team is projected to finish 8th round value, how do you handle grabbing must-roster players and streaming? Well, Tazaris, the only congratulations for having a team that's going to win the league. But the only way that you'd consider streaming, you don't worry about it because something's going to happen, right? A player's going to drop off, a player's going to get hurt, and streaming spots will open. So don't worry about streaming. If your team is this good, it doesn't matter. In terms of grabbing must-roster guys, well, if the must-roster guy is better than your worst player, that's how you grab them. That is it. That's all you need to do. Am I able to add a third team option for trades and Basketball Monster? I'm not, because I don't do any of the tech stuff, but I think Ken's already been asked that, so hopefully he can do this. Jovic over Bryant in a points league. Jovic got good minutes last game. Yeah, but he also played 0 in the first 2 games combined. So Bryant is going to start, I would suggest. Maybe not, but I would think that Bryant is going to start, whereas literally Jovic might play 0 minutes, or he might play 12 minutes as a backup. Like, he played 21 as a starter when Love and Butler and Martin and Highsmith were out last game. So yeah, look, just go the easier route there. Can I retract my statements about Scott Barnes? What, that he struggled last season and I wasn't 100% certain that he was going to generate big defensive stats? No, I won't retract those because they were true. Has he been good this season? Yes. And you Toronto Raptors fans, especially you, Joe, You need to stop being such whiny little pussies. Seriously. Would I consider KCP a hold or a drop for a streamer? That would depend, Jose. Like, if I'm in a 12-team points league, I wouldn't bother with KCP. Is he a hold in a category league? Like, possibly. Like, I think, but in general, you've seen what's happened, right? He had this really big shooting night, and he's dropped off. The steals are really good, and that has value. But to me, he hovers around the 120, 130 mark, which makes him borderline holdable, but it really does depend on your team. Drop Okoro or Oubre for Keontae. I would be very comfortable dropping Okoro for Keontae, and it's not about, well, Keontae is definitely going to outproduce Okoro. It's not what that's about. It's about taking a chance on someone you think's got the ability to rise, whereas you look at Okoro and go, well, he's doing this because players are out, and he probably goes back to a 20-minute-a-night role, whereas the likelihood is that George starts and pushes to 27 minutes to 31 minutes and pushes forward. Even if it doesn't work out, you always want to take that upside swing on a guy, especially early in the season. Will I have a Halloween costume? Absolutely not. Never have, not once in my life, and never will. Joel Cuthbert, how long will Gafford be out? Don't know. He was a chance to play today, so I would expect it's not particularly long term. I've got no way of answering that, Concase. Who am I fading and by how much for a draft tonight? There's no way I can answer that question. I'm sorry. What's my tolerance for a guy like Scoot as far as when you might consider dropping? I would often, now again, you should have had this expectation. Maybe I should have been way more aggressive in stating this in the preseason. But rookies, guards suck. And I said this, probably not enough, but expect to have a stretch of time for 2 months where he's outside the top 200. And if you're not willing to hold, don't draft him. In saying that, if nothing turns around by the end of November, that is my absolute latest point in waiting for these guys. What's my take on dropping Jaden McDaniels for Asar Thompson? Well, I've got no idea of your league, so I'm just going to say yes. Can Sticks hold up in Indiana? Like, no, he can't. He's not a guy... Look, he's a guy that can be a useful fantasy player. That's why we were interested, because he was going to play 28 minutes as a starter last season. That's tremendous value, right? But at the moment, he's a backup center, and I'm just not that interested in a backup center as a 12-team regular guy. But he's been solid. No problem. He's been solid. Is basketball culture big in Australia? More of a side sport? I don't know how to fully answer that. It's definitely not the major sport here. Like, it's probably our third or fourth most popular sport. Is it basketball culture? Not really, not like in the States, but it is relatively big here. What's going on with Derek Lively? Like, literally nothing. I'm not sure what you mean. Does Kessler play more minutes today as he's coming up against Jokic? No idea. He's really played poorly. Maybe he does because he's playing Jokic. Like, I don't expect that he's going to play 22 minutes a night every night. So the odds would suggest that, yes, he is. Where's Obi? He's down here. The odds would suggest that he is going to do more than that. Yes. Do I have my bird dogs on? No, I don't. These Squatch, they're in the wash. No more news coming through. We're still waiting on those 10:30 a.m. games. 10:30 my time, sorry, 7:30 Eastern. If I'm Pop, how am I handling the point guard situation this season? They definitely need a new point guard. I said this all off-season. They should have tried to get a Cole Anthony. They should try to get an Emmanuel quickly, but they haven't. And then Pop came out and said that Sohan at point guard is their year-long experiment. We'll see whether that's true or not, because it's impossible to trust coaches day by day, let alone for a whole season. I think that Trey Jones is a very solid backup. He is not a very good starting point guard, but he is their best passer. But if you are in full experimental mode for this season, then you just got to try Sohan as a top 10 pick. Getting him on the court is important. Otherwise, if I was a front office, I'd trade Keldon Johnson so that Sohan can start it forward. But you just want him on the court. So it's looked bad, but the only way you're going to find out if it can be good is by playing him out there. There you go. Is Bilal a stream for tonight? Yeah, I guess so. Is Cunningham a sell high right now? No, I don't believe so. Why are there so many Australian podcasters? I don't know. Because we like the NBA? I'm not sure why. Maybe because they heard me doing it? Honestly, maybe because I was the first one to really do it, I think, here. So maybe that's part of it. How the dog is going to go next year? I don't know, mate. Like, just the frustration of last year hasn't really washed over me. So I'm not sure. Do I sit Kobe White, Wendell Carter, or Andy Wiggins in a points league? Well, I think all of them are reasonable choices. I would probably I would probably sit White out of that group. What is my sleep schedule like? It's pretty normal, mate. Like, it's not that crazy. Like, I go to bed sort of early, and I wake up at I've been waking up at 5:36 the last couple of days, but it's fine. Do I like cheeseburgers? I prefer something with a little bit more heft to it. Cheeseburgers are pretty boring. I prefer a little bit more than that. Is Marcus Smart a sell high? Look, things are only a sell high if someone wants to buy into it, right? Like, Marcus Smart's shooting unbelievable percentages, and not one person's going to go, wow, you know what, Marcus Smart's going to keep doing this, unless they're blind. And sometimes when you send trades, people don't look at the reasons why someone is outperforming expectations. So sure, if someone wants to give you a top 50 player for Marcus Smart, you do it, but it's probably not going to happen. Do I think Grant will improve? I'm assuming Jeremy Grant, especially in the field goal, maybe 44. I don't know what his current number is, but as a general rule, I'll say no, because we have seen this. When Jeremy Grant thinks that he's the king, when he thinks he's the number one guy, he jacks terrible shots. We saw him do it in Detroit. Now, if I go and look at what Jeremy Grant's doing at the moment, he's shooting 33%, so I can 100% with 100% positivity guarantee you that he will be better than that. There is no doubt whatsoever. 44? No. 42? Maybe. That's probably more realistic, I would say. All right. What else have we got going on here? How's Obi? He's fine. He's sitting under my feet at the moment. Do I have any other pets? No, it's just Obi. Is Duran a sell high? Again, LaMelo Ball. Get ready for your game instead of talking here. Sure, but if someone only gives you a top 20 player. Honestly, what he's doing at the moment, field goal percentage won't stay, 15 rebounds won't stay, 5 assists won't stay, but he can easily be a top 50 player. I'd rather just ride it out unless I'm getting a top 20 guy back. HJ's or McDonald's? Good question, Nectarios. The only reason I say McDonald's is that it's closer to me than Hungry Jack's, which, by the way, that's what it's called. Burger King is called Hungry Jack's in Australia. I would, but Hungry Jack's, I do like their burgers more. Maybe I'll get that for lunch. From what I've seen of George, I think he has the same struggles as Scoot if he starts. I think all rookie point guards are at risk of having those struggles. Scoot has been next level bad, but I would expect similar sort of struggles. Someone said there was a throwback to that time when I did the Desmond Bain voice and I screwed my microphone. Yeah, remember that? And I hit the mic and it started buzzing and went out for 5 minutes. How much patience should you have with Walker Kessler? More than 2 fucking games. It's been a week, man. Have some more patience. Far out. Keontae George or Kobe White? I think it's White, but I'm not convinced. It's just hard for rookie point guards to be massively successful. Kuminga is out. What are my thoughts on an Ayton Robert Williams time split? I don't think that that's going to be the case. I think Ayton is going to get the bulk of the minutes, the bulk of the time. Who would I prefer? Very clearly Ayton, especially in points leagues. Williams is not a good points league player. Who would I prefer in real life? Well, that's tough. It's probably Rob Williams, honestly. But the injuries do drop that somehow. Adebayo is out tonight. Is Nicola worth the stream? Not to me. It's an 11-game slate, and the man played 0 minutes. 0. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he does start at center, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be Thomas Bryant. People have a real hard-on for Nikola Jovic, don't they? What's my opinion on Kyrie said he wanted to play for Australian national team? Surprised he hasn't already. Kyrie says a lot of things. If he had have said back earlier ago that he wants to play for Australia, Australia would have let him play. But he didn't, and he played for the States. So there you go. Do you think I missed the Bilal starting news or you missed it? He's starting today because Gafford is out. I still don't expect that he plays big minutes. You could stream him in if you've got some open spots, if you're looking for defensive stats, but I wouldn't be going crazy over it. How many more games until Neesmith starts over Toppin? It's a really good question. Toppin is not very good. Neesmith I don't think is a full-time power forward, but if Jalen Williams can do it, then maybe Neesmith can? I don't know. I would say I'd give it a 3 weeks, I think. Do I think Josh Green has any chance of being useful for 12 teamers? Only if there is an extended absence for Kyrie or Luka. We've just seen so many different examples of him not being able to succeed when they both play. Can Jovic play what is with the Jovic stuff? Can he play a 20? I highly doubt it. He started and played 21 minutes. He played 0 minutes in the first 2 games. I don't know how he is getting 25 minutes. And maybe I am just very much down on him. I did not love him as a draft prospect. I didn't love what I saw from him last season. But how does he get 25 minutes? I don't get it. Looks like my prediction on Vooch is coming to fruition. The Bulls are bad. How do they get better? I don't know if they're coming to fruition, but I had my reasons as to why I wasn't particularly excited about Vooch for this season, as I do need to go. I just realized the time. So I don't know how they get better. They only get better by blowing it up. By the way, Wolves lineup: Conley, Edwards, McDaniels, Towns, Gobert. That is announced. That is confirmed. And I got to go. I got to go work on Barcelona Monster and watch some games. I'll see you guys later. Hit a thumbs up on the way out. Thanks for being a part of the show, guys. I'll see you later. Bye.